Hey everyone, this is Jesse, and we're playing Value Vintage today, a format that follows the vintage ban list with a $30 budget limit. Today I'll be playing through a league with 5 unknown decks emulating your normal Magic Online league. These players came from the Value Vintage Discord and are taking decks that they would consider for 1Ks. You can find a link to the Discord in the description. They share local events while also hosting online tournaments. Today is the first video of a series I plan to continue for my subscribers. For every 100 subs, I'll be doing a viewer-submitted deck for a league. These decks are unedited from the player submitting, so any changes I want to make will be covered after the video. The challenge is built around a card of my choosing, which was Grave Titan. This card was huge for me when I first started playing Magic casually, and I even sleeved it up in my early PTQ days. Our first winning deck comes from DM Dad 37 on Moxfield. Their submission is something super unique and caught my eye immediately. Part Heartless Summoning, part Reanimator. This deck features many cards that have my heart. Nothing short of that is the playset of Garuda. Garuda is the companion for the only EDH deck that I own, which solely revolves around resolving Garuda and winning the game. Our goal is going to be to get the largest creature we can get into play as soon as possible. The sideboard features 4 Grief for combo and control decks, some removal options in Bolt and Feed the Swarm, with Anger of the Gods as a sweeper. We also have some options for unfair decks like Ravenous Trap and Damping Sphere. If you're looking for Value Vintage content, please consider liking the video and following the account, and let's get into the games. All right, now we have a match against Black Viper. Played against him multiple times. Not a huge fan of this hand just because we only have the Inquisition, I really do. We don't have any of like the lower curve stuff, so we're going to mulligan it. This hand's closer, I guess. We'll keep. We'll bottom. I don't think he normally plays blue deck, so I'm gonna bottom. See what he's working with here. Oh, he is playing a blue deck. Oddly enough, I think I'm most afraid of this Spell Pierce because we're already on the mulligan. Okay, we have Troll, so we might just have a play here of discard Troll and then death it back. We're not really losing out on anything by like not having that turn 1 because we would have walked right into the Spell Pierce. Okay. So this should let us do our thing. We'll find another Smoldering Marsh. Ooh, that's tempting. I want to high roll so bad. I guess we're not really losing anything by doing it because we can do looting first anyway. We will discard Garuda and Oliphant. So now that we have the second death, I think we're definitely bringing back the Garuda to try to high roll. See what we can hit. So then we'll keep the one that has the Throne in haste. Okay, didn't hit anything that second time. So for our next turn, I didn't notice this before, but we actually don't have anything in the deck that does non-legendaries. Where's Oliphant? Oliphant gets trample, right? Yeah. So we're gonna go to 9. We could actually probably gonna lose this game, oddly enough, unless we draw one of the cast downs. Oh, we can't even death back one of the 6-drops either, because he was able to cast it. I always think that this lets you Snapcaster, but it just lets you do it for free. So we're at 6. Oh, that plays. No, no, it doesn't. Can't get in the yard. Okay, so we're gonna concede this one. So it's not like a blue-red Delver list. Anger seems good. These bolts seem good. I don't think we want grief, despite him having counter magic. I think we just need to try to go bigger because if the game goes longer, we can just start casting the 6-drops. Don't want Ravenous Trap. I don't think we're going to be able to do like Dread Return stuff this game. Need one more cut. Upside of Troll and Oliphant on 2 is pretty huge in this matchup. It might actually just be like one of these Grave Titans. It might just be like the least impactful mill. We'll try it like that. So bringing in a lot of removal. Odd enough, I do like this hand because we can cycle Troll on 1 for a swamp, have it untapped for the cast down. So we have Bolt or Troll on 1 into cast down. And then it also sets up these Smoldering Marshes. So the hand's a little slower, but it does play. Sure. There is also the upside here of us just like ripping death. There's an Oliphant. We can kind of do the same thing. Just wait, see what he does. Cycle the Oliphant. I just realized there's no way to cast this duplicate in the deck. It might be good to have like a single Sunken Hollow and then like, is there a blue-red one? I don't think there is. Or at least not yet there is. So here we can go for Faithless Looting. Pitch both of these. I'm a little afraid of Spell Piercer lose focus here, so I'm gonna hold off on this Heartless Summoning. And then maybe we're lucky and he taps down for like a True Name or something. I say we're lucky. Like, True Name Nemesis is like easy to beat. All right, Soul Guide's a little rude. His best hit for us actually here is Faithless Looting, because right now we don't have any way to bring anything back. See if this resolves. All right, now we do have access to Garuda next turn, which is good. It's an interesting game where like we're like super removal heavy, and he just hasn't played a threat yet. If he plays a threat this turn, we can go Cast Down, and the next turn go Garuda Bolt. Yep. Something awkward last game was that the Garuda kind of fed his Dread Horde to find him the Bolt. Even better if he tries to fight over this. Okay. Actually, we don't want to do that. I'm gonna go. This could get loose focused. We do have Oliphant next turn. Okay, no, we got it. Let's see if we can hit. I don't think we want to. We could try to roll again with the um, Dax duplicate, but this is a ton of damage. It's actually, I think it's lethal next turn with the Bolt. It's definitely lethal if the Inferno Titan lives because we have the fire breathing. Because it'll be 13 in play, 3 here, and then we have enough to fire breathe. I think it's also enough if it's still also enough if he plays a blocker because we can still just bolt it. I'm just a huge fan of all the old Titans. Like the least interesting Titan is probably Frost Titan, which is just like a house in limited. They're just all cool cards. Yep. Is Chain Lightning to the face? We will not. So we got that one. I don't think we want anything different. We could bring in these raise the effigies for Lantern, but I think Lantern just entering and removing something is just more impactful. We can put like a lot of things in our yard, but it's not like we're doing that like consistently. Normally it's off of like a Garuda hit, which if we're triggering a Garuda, we're probably not in that bad of a spot. Part of the summoning seemed really good there, though. Because even if we had one of our guys removed, we were going to be able to cast the Oliphant. Right now we're on the draw. I like this hand. If he doesn't have... Depending on his start, we'll go land, cycle Oliphant, and then can death it back. Okay. Yeah, the only thing that would have changed our play is an untapped red source, because then we go Faithless Looting, dump multiple things. Yeah, this is probably just a... I bet he is potentially stuck on one land. Two to the bottom, yeah. Stuck on one land, it looks like. Maybe he found it. But another Sulfur Falls. Okay, we're definitely going to go in on this Oliphant then, because he's tapped out. And we want a untapped mountain. A pretty good draw. Reveal. So we could have waited there, gone for like a Faithless Looting play, but our next turn kind of lines up to like cast down Faithless Looting. Might even get lucky and rip like a death off the top, but we can Faithless Looting one of these threats back. Three tapped lands in a row is pretty rough, I won't lie. One thing we have to keep in mind is that we are at 14 already. Yep. We are going to pre-combat Faithless Looting also, just because there is the potential upside of discarding like an Anger and something else. There's another Grave Titan. All right, so first things first, we're going to Faithless Looting. Double Troll. What a weird hand. We're definitely doing this. We're keeping these two. Maybe it's just splitting. Well, no. Trolls. Yeah, I think we're just splitting. We're going to main phase this. Actually going to F6 now. So feeling a lot better about the raise. I'd imagine this tags Faithless Looting. No, he's tagging Grave Titan. The reason I keep saying Faithless Looting is because you can't respond to us casting the Faithless Looting by exiling the yard. You can respond to like the life death. I think we'll pitch. At this point, we almost just really need to find a bolt. Because if we find a bolt, we can just kill him next turn. Oh, okay. That's a little annoying. Won't lie. So we got a game now because we're at 11. We're going to mount cycling this one just because he knows that we have the Oliphant. He doesn't know we have the troll. Alright, I think we're going to bait out this Soul Guide Lantern. So we're going pretty low here. There is a chance that we die to like double bolt, but there's also the chance that we just like rip anger here. Or if he's like bolt chain lightning. I know he's definitely like, oh, this is weird. Maybe just countering. Yeah, this is a replicate. Yeah, okay. So that's fine. He still has Soul Guide Lantern. I don't want to discard this troll anymore just because there's a chance that we just play it as a threat. I think we actually bait it out first. Because troll is hard to block, and it's also going to be hard for him to kill without double burn. Where Grave Titan's really the same, but it actually goes, ooh, that's good though. I think it's still troll. What a fun game. Yep, that's fine. Very interactive hand, obviously. He's playing Delver. Only has played the Dread Horde for a threat. That's kind of bad. I think Garuda is more impactful than the Grave Titan. Just because Garuda can be 2 threats. Yeah, even in this game, we had Troll and Oliphant that we could have found the blue for this. So I think that's just like a note for afterwards. That's something that we would want to be interested in. Is that all the loose focuses? No, there's still one left. It's the last card in hand for sure. Or he just drew it off the top for sure. Alright, so we're definitely just letting this rip. Best case scenario is he just has a bounce spell like an Echoing Truth. Okay, sweet, it resolved. Roll again. We'll bring back Oliphant, so... we will cast this Faithless Looting. So that's not bad in case he has a threat. Right now we have lethal in play. So he has to at least play 2 blockers or remove one of these. I mean, that works. It's not lethal anymore. So he'll be able to soak one of the damage. Let's see if there's anything we can find here. There's a chance he has like Bolt. And this lets him clear out like the Oliphant, and then he can technically block the Garuda for a long time. Yeah, because if he has the Bolt, he doesn't want to block like that. Just because I still have the trample for next turn. Oh, he does have the Bolt. Okay. Don't know if that's going to do it. The last card has to be really good. It has to be like Unholy Heat. Let's just see what it is. Okay, it's Snarl. Cool. Yeah, if he makes that block the other way and eats the Oliphant, then he can actually block Garuda until I find another threat. So we'll just assign the one that would kill True Name, we trample over for 5, and that's a win. So GG's the Black Viper. I do like Delver in this format, like Delver style decks. I think they have some serious play. But always appreciate him coming onto the videos. All right, we have a match against that Robino. I don't think we've played them before on the channel. I'm going to keep this. It looks crazy, but this Faithless Looting hopefully can find us something good. I mean, even if we had a life death on turn 2, you know, this hand pays off a ton. I was gonna say, please God, don't be a Spell Pierce. We're gonna get rid of this, and I'll say one of the Grave Titans. I don't think we need them. Might be High Tide. Interesting that there's been no, like, cantrips or anything yet so far. Alright, Dread Return does play. So I think where we're at is just to do this again. We already have 2 guys in the yard, so we will be able to Dread Return. It's probably just like... What do we want to get back? I think we actually want to try to get back Garuda. So maybe it's Garuda Inferno Titan. If this is High Tide, we're in an odd spot. Yeah, this looks like just regular High Tide. Oh, interesting. Maybe not. Alright, so we know that there's spell pierces, so we have to keep that in mind. There's 3 frantic searches. Oh, okay. This card's kind of crazy. I guess Unable to Scream does like the same thing for 1 mana. Alright, we're gonna try to let this Dread Return rip on this Garuda. Good chances of getting countered. Okay, yep, had the spell pierce. We are just 2 turns away from casting these Titans. That might just be the route where we're at now. We're gonna Inquisition now just because we wouldn't be able to tap out next turn. Okay, it's Mill. We're gonna take the counter spell because, like I said, we want to set up for next turn. So we took the counter spell. Deluge is now gone. Good chance that there's more counter spells after that deluge. Deluge. What in the world? Okay, so this is like... Oh, doesn't this thing mills half your library, right? The 7/7. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, so that will kill us. So we're just gonna concede here so that way we can preserve some amount of information. So it's like a one-shot combo. I don't know if we want... Oh, this is weird sideboarding. I think we want the Griefs. Feed the Swarm seems too slow. It looked like they weren't exposing their enchantment. We could... maybe we bring in these Damping Spheres. It seemed like Hot Tide was kind of important for what they were doing. So if this is the route we're going... think we're less on like Garuda combo things this time. Maybe Dread Return's still fine. I think I want Grave Titans. Oh wait, these cast downs are pretty bad. Yeah, we'll try this. I love that we have 18 6-drops. It's not absurd at all. Just going for like the max value off of Garuda. Ooh, we'll go first. Oh, we're gonna keep this. So we're going to looting first. I think it's honestly like Troll Oliphant. We're not going to do this grief now. There's another troll. Spell Pierce, yep. It's not the end of the world because it kind of saves us on one of our more impactful spells later. So we'll play the Roan's Reveal. Actually, just try to flashback this looting. So here I want to do Tainted Peak Garuda. Or wait a minute. Yeah, Tainted Peak Garuda. So goal next turn is to draw a black card that we don't care about. So we can go Pitch Grief. There's a main phase Frantic Search. Pitch Grief. And then Dread Return, like maybe Garuda. But I think comes back soon, right? All right, we definitely want to Grief next turn no matter what, so that way we can get something out of his hand. Because this just being in the yard is like concerning. I think also seeing the High Tide stuff, we don't necessarily want to be doing like Wrap Trap things. Just because he kind of powered it out last game. Only 4 cards in hand though, so not exactly what we wanted. So if he goes High Tide, he goes land High Tide, he can't play the doubling, the enchantment, and do the unearth. I think we're going to try to jam this Grief because we need to try to figure out what kind of counter magic he's holding before we even jam this Dread Return. Next turn could be just jamming the Dread Return, and then hopefully... And so he has the Fraying Sanity, so we definitely want to take this. He didn't Frantic Search there. So we know there's a Spell Pierce. We probably don't want to jam this Dread Return into that. That is pretty good, though. So here we're going to jam the Damping Sphere. He's going to want to counter it. See if he discards the Spell Pierce. Okay, discarded the Spell Pierce, so... Is this resolving? Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, we did get that one. So, yeah, post-board, I don't think we want Wrap Trap. Wrap Trap works exactly with Frantic Search, but it's also, I think, only good against, like, the robot dude, the artifact guy. So I don't think we want to do anything different. I think we'll just submit it like this. This hand's okay. I'm gonna keep it. Looting will let us dig, and Inquisition will also... Okay, Ponder. This means that we are gonna Faithless Looting turn 1. If you had open mana, we would Inquisition in case they wanted the Spell Pierce. He did Maul also. Okay, yeah, we're actually set up kind of sweet here. Let's pitch Inferno Titan and then Tainted Peak. Another Faithless Looting or Inquisition off the top here would be huge. We don't want to jam this death yet because we want to try to get this Inferno Titan out to end the game. Control's pretty good. So here, I'm just going to go Smoldering Marsh, pass, and then we can cycle Troll. Then next turn, we can go Inquisition, Death, and if they have double Counterspell, we have the Dread Return for the following turn. We're going to find the Smoldering Marsh here. Ooh, Grief, too. Okay. We're going to start with Inquisition. What the heck is Forbid? Oh, okay. I'm thinking how I want to do this. So we can take the counter spell, grief them, take the spell pierce, and then death the Inferno Titan, I think is the line. It sucks that we lose our dread. So I'll take the spell pierce. And then we'll bring back the Inferno Titan. So their hand is this. Get rid of all this. Another reanimation spell next turn would be huge if we could get a death or the other Dread Return. Okay, so there's a Frank Sanity. Oh, we're actually on a clock. Because this is 5 mana, so 6 mana. Okay, so we're not on that much of a clock. Kigaruda. All right, let's do some math. So he's at 17. It's still a 2-turn clock, no matter what, right? Because it's 9 and then 9. So let's do this. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, that was disgusting. All right, those mills aren't that important. So yes, forbid. Yes, forbid the land and then 2 unknowns. Right, because this is bid in play. All right, we got it. Pretty sweet list. I do like the kind of combo style of mill that that he's built. But appreciate him coming on to the channel and playing a match with us. All right, now we have a match against the Mueller. I think we've played him before on the channel. I can't remember. I feel like it might have been a while ago. I might be mixing them up though. Some people don't have Discord pictures, and other people have like just the normal Discord icon. So if you don't have a picture, I just associate you with whatever like your background color is. And there's a lot of pink background color people. Ew. I don't know if I like this hand. So we don't have red. We don't have a Faithless Looting to like set this up. We are on the draw. I'm not sure what he's playing either, because we could go like turn 2 Heartless Summoning, turn 4 Grave Titan. This is where I want to mulligan and then see the top card, but Moto won't let me. So I think we're going to mulligan. I don't think it does anything. I do like this hand. We're going to bottom... We're going to bottom Inferno Titan. So I think our best line right now is... Well, we're on the draw, so... It might actually be Garuda. We'll bottom Garuda. So, depending on if we draw land, we might just go, like, land looting into death. Oh, or it gets burned, too? Interesting. I'm kind of glad we kept this Inferno Titan, then. Yikes. So, here's our play. I want to do Faithless Looting. We're going to go for all upside to get an untapped black source. The reason for this is we need to try to get this Inferno Titan in the race, so it can kill the Goblin Guide and then try to race from there. If we go Oliphant cycle, we can only get a Smoldering Marsh for a black source. It'll enter tapped, and the next turn we could only do Faithless Looting anyway. So we're going to go for the upside to get an untapped black, which we hit. Okay, so... I don't think we want Ola. I think we could just discard both of our big guys. And I think our play now is, at least what our turns will look like, would be get the Inferno Titan, kill this. Maybe he plays another guy that we can cast down. We're going to make this really easy for him, though, here. Just because we're going to go to 16, go to 10. there's a world where we could just like die on turn 3 to like bolt, fire blast plus the 6 damage from Inferno Titan. Okay, this is not as bad for us because it's like a slower version of burn. It's not just like classic burn. So better for us. Still not like anywhere close to in a good spot. So what does our clock look like now? So our clock now is... Okay, we have a 2-turn clock. And we could kill the Darcy too. He's probably going to play the Goblin Guide. What an interesting game. We're pretty low, but... Bolt us. Should actually just F6. I don't know what I'm doing. So we're basically cut off of doing any more death things, so it's kind of dead. We will play the Swamp, though. So here's where I think I'm at. I think I'm at cast down the Goblin Guide, ping here, deal 2 here, and then buff. Or actually, let's think. So he's going to 11, goes to 10. Yeah, I think we still need to do the... We could do like Cycle Troll, but I don't think that that's going to matter too much here. What is this? I'm so scared. I don't know of any 4-mana deal 7, but what is this? Okay. An interesting red deck. I think this is... I think I played against... Wait, I think you know what? I did. This wasn't on a video, but I played against Mueller on the most recent Monday series, and he was playing this deck. So this is like a low to the ground, like almost like slide deck. Oh my god, are we just casting Anger? I think we're just casting Anger. This is crazy. So he's definitely gonna chump Inferno Titan, so it's just a free 2 damage. Like he's chumping Inferno Titan anyway, but it's a 2/2, right? Yep. Ooh, actually, wait, did I misplay? Okay, maybe, maybe not. I think I just got us killed. If he plays Fire Blast, then he can go put a counter on this and Fire Blast us. This is 6 damage? Because it's mana cost, right? Is that first strike or anything? No. Oh wait, Boast is until like end of turn, right? Oh yeah, yeah. So we'll die here. Man, broadside. I can't believe broadside is cheap enough. All right, so we did not play around broadside, which is okay. I wasn't even aware that card was cheap enough for the format. So, post board, we want Anger and Lightning Bolt. I think that's it. We don't want Feed the Swarm because of all the life loss. I don't think we're doing Garuda things. This seems like a tough matchup just because we're kind of in on the early start and like the racing early on. And a huge portion of that for us is through life death. Although we did have a pretty decent strategy there where we got the Inferno Titan in on turn 2 and then we had removal to back up as well. So we're not like in a terrible spot. This is a terrible hand. Oh my god. This is also a bad hand. Let's see what he mulliganed to. Okay, both on a multi 5. That's pretty good. Our mulligan's less punishing now. God, I almost want to take the bobble. I know that's terrible. I think we're to take the amped raptor though. Reckless Impulse can see 2 cards, but Raptor is a threat in itself. Might be even 2 threats. It could even be a boat. I drew the Darcy. I think about the for anyone who watches Game of Thrones, I have a scene I really like with the Hound, where he's at the one tavern, kind of confronting the guards, and he's like better make that 2 chickens. And I just think it's a funny part. Um, our opponent's hand was way worse when we Inquisitioned it, and now it is so much better. Yep. 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 Opponent's draws have really panned out. Though they've had an additional draw from Bobble and got to dump a Goblin Guide, but still like hitting second Bobble off of the Darcy off the top, getting into the second land. Now Darcy's a 3/3. I've got an unfortunate feeling that we are not winning this game. Well, we're almost casting this anger. Not of the gods. Yep. I'm not sure how I feel about Aether Hub and the monocolor energy decks. I guess the only one, like, I guess the red one is the only one that's really that people have tried. It just seems like there's a lot of red pips and not as many generic costs. Well, there's still a Galvanic Discharge in hand, which is probably not getting cast for a while. I think we have to get rid of the Darcy. I really don't like letting this live, just because it's gonna scale into a 3, into a 4, into a 5, which is almost lethal already. I think we have to cast down the Darcy though, which doesn't feel good, but discharge it. Oh, Bolt even. So now we know that's a 3-turn clock for the Assaultron. So other outs this turn to this Assaultron is the other cast down. We have a Bolt this turn. We have an Anger of the Gods, which Anger would be good here because it's cleaning up multiple things. We have to draw our one of. Yep. We're actually fortunate he didn't play the other Assaultron there, because if he plays the other Assaultron, he gets to do both energy, right? That's how this works. Yeah, so you could pay energy twice, make it a 4/4, and then it would only die to cast down. Oh boy. Are we dead? 3/6. So we're gonna be dead to the Assaultron next turn, but we'll play it out. His next turn he goes Assaultron. Can grow the thing twice, and then we'll die. Yeah, a bit of an unfortunate 2 starting hands. I mean, he did mulligan too. His draws of the first couple turns were like really, really good. But we have kind of like the awkwardness of playing a whole bunch of 6 drops to get maximum value. Could he not have cast this? Oh, he just wanted to see this. He just wanted to see us do this. Not going down without a fight. All right, we're going to concede. Sweet deck by Mueller. It's literally kind of like Sly. It's like low to the ground with a lot of impulse effects. Just kind of a super awkward draw by us, but appreciate him coming on the channel and showing off his deck. All right, now we have a game against Clamilton. I've played against Clamilton multiple times on the channel. I do like this, so we're going to keep this. I think we're actually going to do Faithless Looting Death Inferno Titan. Maybe we draw something else cool. Yeah, I think we just are doing Inferno Titan here. Because we have the 2 creatures for land cycling, if we want to. I don't like that. I think we still just go for it. He could have the spell. I think they sometimes play. There's probably Blue-White Bane. So there's a good chance that this could get swords or that there's a spell pierce here, but we got to go for it. The upside of it is just too high. The highest damage bolt you've ever seen. The other plus side here is we can double cycle these to hit our land drops. Didn't get swords, so that's good for us. We're going to start here. Might be considering countering this to protect something. Aligned Heart is a card that he might want to protect here. I'm gonna excuse me. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna mountain cycle this now, so we can get a basic mountain, play it for the turn, and we'll actually use it to buff this here. What this does is without any other interaction, a blocker or anything, it definitely puts enough damage through that we should be able to just kill him. Yep. All right. So didn't have anything, didn't have the swords. All right. So Blue-White Bane is kind of an odd deck where I'm not really sure what to bring in here. We could bring in these Rav traps. Nah, it's bad. No, actually, this is bad because Bane counts Exile also, Sailor's Bane. Aggro the Gods isn't good. Damping Sphere isn't good. We don't want Rage. We don't want Bolt because it doesn't kill any of the small things. We could bring in Feed the Swarm just because it hits Aligned Heart. I know that Clam's been really high on that card, and it's pretty popular in most Bane lists. I'm wondering if we bring in Griefs. Maybe the swap is we just take out the Dax duplicates for the Griefs. We'll run it like that. See how it goes. I was so convinced that he was going to have a Spell Piercer or Swords for that Titan. Kind of got a similar situation here. Here's the question, though. We need to see if we draw a land. We didn't draw a land, but we hit the Life Death. I think we just go for it still. Man, we are jamming, man. So here's our line as I see it. I see Cycle Troll, get Smoldering Marsh, and then Faithless Looting. Actually, doesn't matter too much. Do it like this. Oh, this is really awkward. I really want to keep. Do we need these two lands? Do we just hold on to all of these reanimate effects? I think we just pitch both lands. So the reason for that is we control. We have this to do for a couple turns to keep trying to jam through. The third land will let us flash back a Faithless Looting if we need to. And at some point, I'm sure we'll hit the fourth land for the Dread Return. It's like screenshot worthy. All right, we're gonna go for Grave Titan. Try this first. We'll just spend a couple turns here just trying to jam. Most likely has a ton of counter magic in hand. It's okay. If he has 5 cards in hand, we have 5 ways to or 4 ways to try to bring something back. So we'll go Foreboding Ruins, no reveal. Play that same card again. Next turn for mana efficiency, we can just cast the Dread Return. Just tap out for it. Yep. Gotta make him use his cards. At some point, he'll probably feel like he has a window that he can tap down for a Bane or an Aligned Heart. So we can actually do this now for Swamp Cycling. Spell Queller, interesting. The interesting thing about Spell Queller is that Cast Down lets us get that back on the stack. So we could do something like Cast Down and Death in a single turn. Oh, nice. This is actually pretty big. So we get Inquisition first here. What the heck is this? Okay, this counters a trigger, right? So whatever we get back is probably not... Actually, I think it's actually Nimble Obstructionist. And then we go for the Spell Queller again. And you see Spell Queller just again. And then we have some plays next turn, so... And then we'll do the Grave Titan again. So we're going to end up losing our creature that we end up bringing back. It's going to get, honestly, probably the next two. Well, I think there's 1 white mana, which is good for us. So like this turn, we're going to go to 14. We'll go to 8 after the death. All right, so we got to go for it here. So what I see happening is we get the Inferno Titan, without knowing his last card, we get the Inferno Titan back. He swords or soul, he probably wants to swords it instead of soul partitioning, but I might be wrong. We get to kill one of these, get the Dread Return, and we bring back Grave Titan. And Grave Titan hits the other thing. This is him probably being upset. Yeah, Holy Life Death, bro. We've drawn literally all but one of our reanimate effects this game. So these are all going to go here. And then we're going to bring back Grave Titan. We're gonna cast this Faithless Looting. Yep. This Grief isn't terrible, but it's it just doesn't really do anything. So this is Partition, yep. In terms of racing, we have like a really good racing potential here. Because we're hitting for 10 and then 14. Bane is obviously the most threatening thing happening. Yep, so there is the swords. Alright, so we can Dread Return back a troll. First things first, we're going to attack. Is that just better than keeping the Grief in play? Let's get these in. Sure. So we're both top decking. We are ahead on clock. 2 lands away from casting this Inferno Titan. Have a Dread Return that if we can get something in play. A cast down also lets us get back a troll. We'll go for this. So we have 2 lines there. We can sandbag. Well, not sandbag the land. We'd play the land. We can play the land, and then if we draw a land, we get to cast the Inferno Titan. Or we know that we keep the Grave Titan here. And we're just like farther away from getting the Inferno Titan from exile. However, if he doesn't have a counterspell and he has a swords, the Grave Titan's better because we can sack the tokens for the Dread Return in the yard. Once again, like I said, we are ahead on the clock here. So we'll go for this. Sure. So any land off the top lets us cast the Inferno Titan. We're still on a 2-turn clock. Alright, so he's not attacking anymore. What the heck is this? Interesting. So now we do here. We're going to convert our Grief into a Grave Titan. Kind of odd here too, because like he can hit us for 4, but he would need a blocker to live. And then an untapped land off the top would let us... Yeah, he must have a blocker. He must have drew a Bane or some other creature. It must be like a spell queller. Watch it be another one of these things. If they printed this card in 2025, the tokens would be tapped and attacking. Yes, he's gonna get us here. Because now he blocks the Grave Titan, takes 6, go to 2. Yeah, he's got that one. I do think I want to bring in Bolts just because he played a lot more that works with it. I didn't see any Grave Hate though, which was good. The Griefs are fine. I like the Griefs. Maybe it's these Angers. Take the Angers out this game. Really close one though. All right, we will go first. 2 top heavy. We'll mulligan. This hand's super awkward. We're going to keep it, but I'm not a big fan of these Tainted Peaks. So we're finding Smoldering Marsh instead of the basic mountain just because we want to get this online. We have enough black sources so we can find a basic mountain here. Ooh, Grief is interesting. I think he has too many cards in hand for us to try to like do Grief things. I'm almost tempted. So we can do... We're going to go for this. I anticipate it's going to get countered. But next turn we can go Grief, and then we have Dread Return as well. Spell Pierce, I'm assuming. Yep. We're just like behind on cards to want to try to do like Grief, Death Grief stuff. Not a big fan. Queller, okay. Queller's one of the best counter spells against us just because it's a clock. I do like the inclusion. I don't see a lot of Spell Queller in Bane, but it kind of matches everything you want the deck to do. 3 mana is kind of an odd spot for the deck. This is an odd spot for us here too, so I think we're just going to pass. We could try to bolt the Spell Queller if he taps down or on the end step. Try to bait a counter spell to Dread Return. We will go to take the damage because we're a healthy life total right now. And let's see what happens here. Can't imagine it resolves. This is another Queller. Or maybe it's a kick to lose focus. All right, cast down or lightning bolt one time. Ask and you shall receive. Well, we are one untapped land away from casting one of our top end next turn. And if we can resolve Garuda or Grave Titan, we should be able to outrace this. This is a 4-turn clock, but this alone's also a 4-turn clock. With a buddy, it's definitely more than likely 2. This sounds odd, but I think I'm more okay with Grave Titan getting countered here than Garuda, just because Garuda can represent 2 threats and 2 blockers. He has to lose focus, sure. So now we're really relying on not only this Garuda resolving, but it also hitting something. Once again, cast down off the top is like crazy good for us. Or a lightning bolt. Definitely need something here, though. We either need this Garuda to resolve or a removal spell. Tainted Peak is what we need right now. Right. Looks like a counter spell here. If so, that's going to be it for us. Don't GG me. Holy hell, Peak. Don't do it. Okay. All right, so he has the counter spell, so we are going to concede. I do like this build. I assume it's Blue-White Bane. Maybe it's a Blue-White Flash list, but really sweet build. We definitely had the pressure on him with the Reanimator cards game too. But always a pleasure to have Clamilton on the channel. All right, now we have a match against Doot. Doot is a good friend of the channel. This hand is like a little, just slightly awkward. We are going to keep it just because we don't have the turn 1 Faithless Looting play. But if we draw basic Mountain here or Foreboding Runes, this hand can be insane. We got a Troll. So just so we can do something on turn 1, I actually kind of like going Tainted Peak, cycle Troll, because depending on what he does, we could actually just death the Troll turn 2. Got a Blue-White list. I bet this is another Blue-White Bane list. The only reason I say that is there's a few guys in the Discord who are like super high on this strategy. So with that being said, I think we're actually going to Faithless Looting here. A lot of lands. So I think here we're going to bin Anger and then Inferno Titan, just because we could end up casting the Garuda. We can end step cycle Troll. Malcolm, okay. Malcolm's a little rough because it's going to let him filter to keep counterspell mana up for pretty much ever. Castleform Pools. It doesn't feel very Blue-White Bane to me, but... Field of Ruin. He's doing some interesting stuff here. We're going to find Smoldering Marsh here just because we have the second mountain. I'm starting to flood a little bit here. So we'll pitch here. And then we'll pitch one of these ruins. Maybe this is something similar to like the blue-white flash list that we just saw a little bit ago. We'll see what we draw. I think it's really likely that we go for the death next turn. We can try to Death Inferno Titan. If it lives, huge. Or not lives, I'm sorry. But if it resolves, huge, because we can kill the Malcolm. If it doesn't resolve, we're at least trying to get some cards out of his hand. Ooh, that's actually really good. So let's do Ruins, Reveal, Death on Inferno Titan. The one nice thing here, too, is if he somehow doesn't have counter magic and he has a swords, we get two looks at this. Okay, yes, counterspell. We're going to go for it again. I still think it's unlikely this resolves, but we'll see. Probably a loose focus here. Yep. What does suck? We are... Like, if we draw a Dread Return or another Death or even a Faithless Looting, we're in a decent spot. Just need to try to get to some more proactive cards here. Because of the following two turns, we'll be able to go like Garuda or Grave Titan. The one thing we have to kind of be anxious of is... I'm not sure if this Malcolm's going to discard anything. Okay, this is actually pretty good. Because now what this will do is we'll be able to do it pre-combat to try to kill the Malcolm. Yep. Oh my god, we can't cast down because it's legendary. I didn't even think about that. This is one of the few times where cast down feels kind of bad. I don't think there's a crazy amount of legendary creatures in VV. But there's definitely some really impactful ones like Malcolm and Thalia. Alright, so I think our sequence is Grave Titan, then Garuda, then Inferno Titan. In order of importance. Mainly because if we're fighting through counter spells, we want the Inferno Titan to be most likely to resolve to kill the Malcolms, just because we're getting clocked. Oh, it resolves. Okay. It's actually pretty huge because these have haste. So if he doesn't have a swords, this is 10 damage coming across. Okay, well, we're going to smack. Okay, probably a little bit of a sequencing misplay there. Yeah. So it's a bit unfortunate for the sequencing there, but I am curious if out of the other three cards in hand, if he doesn't have a counter spell. Because if he doesn't, we have 8 in play. I still think it's Garuda next turn. Just because if there is a chance of a counter spell in hand, And maybe he just thought, oh, I can just swords this and still beat it. The Inferno Titan represents much more damage. Okay, pretty sweet. Pretty sweet line. I like that. Now he gets to keep up all of his mana still. We're going to keep the same line that I talked about. Inferno Titan's more damage. We could hit another threat here for haste, but I think the likelihood of that's pretty low to kill. Okay, Gearhulk, sure. So we are going to get smacked by this Gearhulk, but we do have the cast down for it. We also just might have, like... I gotta do some math here. I don't think we have lethal. Because it's at most 12, 13. So no. So no matter what, we probably want to try to cast down this Gearhulk next turn. We'll see what we draw, but it's probably cast down just to mitigate the damage. It'll also potentially remove a... Well, actually, oh, man, this is tough. So there's 2 cards in hand. So I think the play is leave up cast down, the cast down here. We can Swamp Cycle for another Smoldering Marsh for buffs here. And then if the cast down gets countered this turn, then we can Inferno Titan haste, deal 3, and then deal 3 to kill this. We're just like, we need 1 more mana to be able to like do both of these, and we just don't have it. And Inferno Titan's going to end the game so quick if we can resolve it. I think we're actually going to go now. His last card in hand could be a counterspell, but if it is, then... yeah, he would need to look for another one here. I don't think we're going to cycle Troll now. Just in case he does find another counterspell. It might even be just Jam Troll this next turn. Are we still doing something else? He's found a lot of cards. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9. So he can pick up the Gearhulk. This goes a hand, right? He can pick up Gearhulk and then cast it again in the same turn. Whoops. So if I'm him, I'm doing the Buried Ruin line, picking up Gearhulk, and then casting a counterspell. Yep. It's been a really close game, even with the Inferno Titan, not the Inferno Titan, the Grave Titan play. We still actually are in a realistic spot to lose this game. Ooh, double. Okay, so we are just gonna jam. This gets countered. We have another turn to potentially resolve the Inferno Titan. Replicate there is interesting. He might think that we have a Spirit God. I am actually going to cycle this Oliphant just so that way, like at this point, it's not realistic for us to, I think, be casting it. If we resolve the Inferno Titan, I think we kind of win the game. Actually, no, we'll hold off on casting or on cycling it. So we could try to high roll Garuda, but I think that's losing the game. We really need the Inferno Titan to resolve here. All right, yep, he's got it. Man, really close. Just couldn't really get online. We want these griefs so we can try to take the counter spells out without spending mana. I don't want bolts. We could bring in this raise the effigy just because it's 1 mana and able to destroy the Gearhulk, but I think that's kind of a losing line. I think we just want to be on hand attack. And I still think we're on taking out these Dax duplicates. I don't think we really want anything else. We can keep these cast downs in. They're at least good at killing Gearhulks if it gets to that point. Actually, is this better than raise? Raise is sometimes 2 damage. I'm not sure if this is right, but we're going to try it. Just because it's 1 less mana. Both of those actually end up missing Malcolm. But once again, like I said, it might not be correct, but we'll check it out. All right, and we will go first. Little awkward. I think I want a mulligan. If this was an untapped land that we could turn to a troll, I would be more interested. It's just like kind of slow. So we go tap. We're gonna mulligan. I know it looks kind of crazy, but oh, this hand is worse. These tainted peaks. Oh my god. It's an odd one already. Moment of Truth is okay. So we're gonna take the counter spell just because the Test of Talents doesn't do anything against the Heartless Summoning. It was a really good hand to have against us, though. 2 swords to answer our threat. Test of Talents for the life death. I think we're just gonna jam the Heartless Summoning here. He has 1 card in hand. It could be a counter spell that he drew. Alright, so that does make our draws a little bit better. Has the Malcolm. Something that might not be the worst is just top decking a land and trying to dread return something back. It's definitely getting like Test of Talents, but if they Test of Talents this, it's not as bad. This might get Test of Talents here. Yep. Nope. Do click through his attack. Oh boy, are we I don't think we are. We could haste in a 1/1, but I think it's better that we try to draw a Faithless Looting to discard it. Anger can just be so powerful in this deck, but it is like one of the most awkward draws every time. So we're still getting a lot of spots here, I mean. He's still doing a lot of filtering, but any untapped land lets us go Dread Return into Grave Titan. You know, they both get countered, they get countered, but they're at least 2 very proactive plays. Oh my goodness. Well, we're running hot. 4 mana. Gifts ungiven? This card's a little pricey now. If I'm him, I'm taking 4 counter spells. Maybe a Gearhulk if I have a land in hand. I don't know how much we care about. So what does he have in the graveyard? He has multiple counter spells in the graveyard. So I picked the cards to go to the graveyard. So I think we want to put this and this in the graveyard. He can have Magma. Did I do that right? He can have Magma Opus and Dig Through Time. We can't let him have the Gearhulk because the Gearhulk's just going to kill us. We don't want to have him get the Lantern because we do want to be able to maybe cast a Shred Return. We want to force him to hit his counter spells. Keeping Opus in hand is interesting. All right, well, we can play now. We got to play. All right, we're going to try to bring back Garuda first. That's it. Probably getting countered. It's fine. We got to try to just jam as many things in as we can right now. Look at how cool our cards are, at least. I mean, this Angar is, like, terrible, but... I think at this point it's going to be really hard to win. I mean, we still have 6 turns of a clock until he finds a Gearhulk. But... Malcolm being able to sift through... Ooh, yeah, he's doing the Magma Opus thing. So we have 2 turns. Which Anger was a black card. Hopefully we draw a black card off the top that we can grief Garuda. Odds are he probably is. Oh, this is a Gearhulk. This is a Gearhulk. We lose. Yeah, all right. He's going to get there. So good match by Dude. We really mulliganed hard down in game 2. I probably should have kept that first hand, even though I really don't like the tap lands. But Gearhulks is a sweet deck. It's another iteration of blue-white control. Big fan of it. And always appreciate Dude coming on the channel. To end the video, our final record was 2-3, beating Blue-Red Combo and Combo Mill, while losing to Red Aggro, Blue-White Flash, and Blue-White Gearhulks. The deck overall was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed playing the Titans and Garuda again. I think the power level of the deck is fine, given that you can reanimate a large creature out as early as turn 2, which was what carried some of our games. There's a few changes that I would make with the deck going forward. To start, we have some budget room as the deck is around $24 at the time of recording. With that, I would cut the Tainted Peaks for Blackleaf's Cliffs, given that Cliffs are currently under $1. Additionally, some of the package felt a little clunky sometimes. While the Dax duplicates can combo with Garuda to keep milling, we're not really trying to combo mill them, and the clone being legendary ends up killing the Garuda. I would swap these for the Griefs that were in the board, which I think have more application. Also, numerous times I wanted to be able to play a Heartless Summoning to reduce the cost of our big creatures in hand, and I would swap the cast downs for the full set. Lastly, the sideboard could use a couple of tweaks. I'm not a big fan of Ravenous Trap currently, so swapping for Lanterns or Leylines would be my personal move. I would also look to replace the raises with something like Meltdown and Abrade, but overall, the core package of the deck I think is there. You could look for additional copies of Anger if you really wanted, but I would look to have a little bit more self-mill, maybe some Stitcher suppliers or something to support that. If you liked the video or have something you wanted to share about the league, the recording, or the gameplay, please let me know below. Thank you to everyone that submitted a deck for the first in the viewer series. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.